coach for the men at Drexel University, Bruiser Flint. And Bruiser, I'm going to say it. Charlie's going to back me up. We're both in agreement. I do not know how you can win 29 games, have a 19-game win streak to almost end the season, and not get to the NCAA tournament. You were screwed by the NCAA tournament committee. We both agree on it. You don't have to say anything but it's unconscionable to me how you guys could put together that great a season and not get that reward.
Well, it happened, but we got to move on from it. And I think one of the things I've been telling people, we had a season like this a few years ago, but all those guys were all seniors. One thing that made me feel a little bit better, although we're a little disappointed, was I knew I was going to return a lot of guys from the following year. You still got to play the games, but we knew we got a nice nucleus coming back, and hopefully we can go on the same type of run as we did last year.
Can you use that as motivation? Does this team kind of gear on that a little bit?
We don't talk about it that much. I think one of the things we talked about is, we would like to, we were regular season champs, but we would like to cut down the nets in Richmond. We like to be in the tournament. I think that's probably what we talk about more so than anything else. Not that we got left out, but we sort of left things unfinished. We know now we have to sort of take care of it ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, then we don't have to worry about anybody else.
I think we've mentioned it before today, but your 29 wins is the most wins in this league since David Robinson's team at Navy.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's pretty good record.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
And it doesn't hurt that you've got some pretty good returning players, as you mentioned. We just saw a man who people are predicting as the CAA Player of the Year. He's the preseason nominee for that, Franz Massenet. And you've watched this young man grow in so many different facets of the game beyond just his incredible offensive production.
Well, I think I always felt as though, and I talked to the coach about this, as a freshman, I thought he was pretty good. He just didn't put up the statistical numbers. He was pretty good. Assist-to-turnover ratio was 2-to-1 as a freshman. He was one of the top 2 or 3 in assists. He just didn't score. Last year, he took it to another level in terms of scoring the ball. And really, all I talked to him about was, hey, you have to just learn how to shoot the ball when you're open. People are just not going to let you drive. It's not high school. You just can't drive by people. And, he led the league in three-point shooting. He went from 5 to 15, 14 points a game. He still did the other things, though. He still played great defense. He was still one of the tops in assist-to-turnover ratio. He still was he led the league, one of the leaders in assists. So, the sky's the limit for him. We talk more about the mental part of it. A little bit more pressure when you're the preseason player of the year and people are going to be circling you every night. So we talk more about handling the pressure of, expectations for him as a player coming into this season.
I made the statement on several of your games that he reminds me a lot of a guy that played back with my time, Lenny Wilkins, that I thought was one of the greatest guards. He just did everything, and I think he plays very much like him. But Al and I have talked about guards in this league this year. 56% of the starters are back, and almost 100% of the guards are back. But I don't think anybody beats your 4. You got 4 of them that can all play. Talk a little bit about those.
Those guys, and Damian, who was freshman of the year, but Chris Fouch also too, and Derek Thomas, who I think is one of the better defenders in the league.
Absolutely.
And one thing I tell everybody about Chris, he's probably going to be the all-time leading scorer for Drexel in the CAA, close to 1,400 points. And not one time did a kid ever ask me, why don't I start? I appreciate that, but I think that's one reason why the team has been pretty special, because you have guys like him who, he's one of our leading scorers, but he comes off the bench, and not one time has he ever asked me, why don't I start? You know what I mean? Why don't I play more? I always tease him. I say, I let you shoot it every time you get in the game, so that helps. But, that's the type of attitude, and he being a senior this year and Derek being a senior, actually, we're going to miss that. So I hope that we can finish off special for those types of guys.
And on the inside, McCoy, Ruffin, those guys got to do a little heavy lifting for you this year.
Do a little bit. Daryl, I told Coach I thought he was a little heavy last year. He says he likes him like that. But, he's playing defense. He rebounds the ball. Darte, I actually told him he was one of those guys mentally, I think. He came in saying, well, Sammy's the starter. I'm just going to be a bench guy. Instead of coming in with the mentality, I can be one of the better players in the league. I showed that as a freshman. So we need him to get back to playing somewhat what he did as his freshman year. I think he can do it. We just need some help for some depth in the front court from either Kasimbe Abiff or Casey Carroll or Goran Pantovic. If we can get something from those guys, then we got an opportunity to do some good things again.
One of the things I thought made your team so great the last couple of years is the kids really bought into their roles. Like the two big fellas, man. They knew where their home was, and that's where they stayed. But the fact that most of them accept their roles and have done a great job for you is a compliment to you.
I don't know, but I think it's more of a compliment to them because you know how hard it is to get guys to accept. Like I said, Chris Fouch never asked me to start. Derek Thomas, he doesn't shoot the ball that much, but he's been a 4-year starter. He plays defense. Even Darryl, you know your job. They do it. And none of them ever complain. They just go out, they do it. This team has been all about winning. This group of kids has been all about winning, and that makes it easier on the coach when you can walk in and you know they have the right attitudes about getting out there and winning basketball games.
No, this man has been all about winning. A 29-win season in his 11th year, now going into his 12th at Drexel. Bruiser Flint, great last year, but I know you're looking for more this year. Congratulations and good luck this season.
All right, thanks, guys.